Conducted in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertisement, the Cape May Star and Wave, on the Township website and posted on the bulletin boards of Township Hall.
All right, if we could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's get this party started. Can we have roll call?
Councilmember Conrad?
Here.
Councilmember Perry?
Here.
Councilmember Roy?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Sippel?
Here.
Mayor Simonson?
Here. All right, we have no work session this evening, so we are moving right down to the consent agenda and asking council any questions or comments on the consent agenda.
I have one comment on the consent agenda. Resolution 2018-244. It's very important. We're opposing the implementation of the complementary bills from the New Jersey Legislature, A2 and S2. It's about the school funding. By the time this is over, we're looking at a loss of $9,602,345,000 in state aid. This is over a 26-cent tax increase. It's not just lower. Middle's getting hit very hard. Out of all 18 school districts in Cape May County, 3 are not seeing a reduction. But for the taxpayers of lower, we have to do what we can to try to protect them, because 26-cent tax increase is very significant. It's going to affect a lot of things, and I just find it weird that it's scary that the state's talking about free college for people, yet they're now going to make the elementary schools and the high schools more expensive for the taxpayers in this township. We're going to try to do what we can. We can't say anything's going to happen, but that's pretty bad.
Oh, and along with that, I will say that in speaking with both of our superintendents, Jeff Samanego and Chris Kobick, they have kind of saw this coming, and have implemented quite a few things ahead of time to prepare for this. But this is definitely, the local schools are going to take a big hit. And it's not, like Tom said, it's not just us. Middle Township's getting hit very hard. Obviously West Cape May and some other schools in our area. So we will keep you posted on this. And I think in the future, very soon, I will have, before the start of the new school year, we'll have possibly the superintendents come in maybe for a work session and kind of explain what's going on with that as well. Do you have a comment?
I'd like to comment on this only because as of 4 o'clock today, I had met with our tax collector who still hadn't received the tax rate for the township. So I was prepared to tell you that because people are wondering why they're not getting their tax bills or why they can't pay their taxes yet. And in the next 25 minutes, at precisely 4:30, she came down to my office. She just received it today. So the bills will go out in the next week, and our constituents, your constituents, will have 25 days after they get the bill to take care of their tax obligations. But the reason I'm saying that, I'm sure that the school funding dilemma was holding that up from us getting our stuff. So maybe we'll see something in the paper tomorrow that'll better explain it, but we'll have more documentation at the next meeting. And I totally agree. It seems locally here in our area, you're going to have some pain with this at the elementary
Absolutely.
And the high school.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Anybody else on council? Anything else on the consent agenda?
Nothing.
Seeing none. All right. We open up to the public. If you have any questions or comments regarding the consent agenda only, feel free or let us know. You step up to the mic. We just ask for your name and address for the record. Anyone on the consent agenda? Yes, sir.
Tom Coussart on Shaman Avenue. I see you have this resolution here, but you got some money back, 237. You got back money, I guess, from the contractor for the sidewalk project. I was just wondering what our overall cost was for our township and maybe what the county kicked in. Kind of got, that program late. I'd just like to know how much our whole town had to pay for this.
Yeah, I know the open space paid us close to $1 million. It was 900 and
80,000, I want
80,000, I want to say.
Somewhere
Yeah.
in that ballpark.
That's what they gave us
Quote me on
towards
the
it.
exact figure.
The Department of Transportation was 170,000, I believe, off the top of my head. And what was the rest of the cost, Jim? Do you know, have that there?
On the resolution, the total contract price was $1,950,939.
All right.
Complete, finalized total
Right, so if we
contract.
do the math, it's what, roughly 700,000, something like that.
And I also would like to tell you that I know of two situations where we had taken care of a problem that occurred with two houses by contractors that were working on the job, and we felt we couldn't wait for those to be remedied. One lost their whole panel off the side of the house, got ripped off by one of the cement trucks. So we went ahead to remedy that, and we paid the bill, and we were being reimbursed back because we still have a bond on that project, an insurance bond for another 365 days also. In that, if there was a cracking in a particular area, or something that we could say was faulty, we still have that in place for a year.
All right, anybody else? Seeing no one, close the public portion. Can I get a-
Approve-
Go ahead.
Approval of minutes, July 2nd, 2018, and resolutions 2018-230 through 2018-245.
I get a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll second the motion.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Roy?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sippel?
Yes.
Mayor Simonson?
Yes.
This is ordinance 2018-12. An ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for the Cape May County Airport Tech Village area in need of redevelopment identified as Block 410.01, part of Lot 36 in the Township of Lower New Jersey, and amending the zoning map accordingly. This is the second reading and public hearing of this ordinance. This ordinance has been published, posted, and made available to the public.
All right, any questions from council? We've talked about this before. Yep. All right, we close that. We open up the public portion in regards to ordinance 2018-12. Seeing none, we close that, and I get a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Councilmember Conrad?
Yes.
Councilmember Perry?
Yes.
Councilmember Roy?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sippel?
Yes.
Mayor Simonson?
Yes. Now we have the manager's report. You want to wait, Jim, and let Mark go, or you?
Sure.
We'll do the engineer's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight we have 4 project updates for you, and I'll begin with the Roseanne Avenue project. The contractor is in the process of submitting an updated construction schedule. This report obviously was made last Wednesday. We did get the updated construction schedule, and I forwarded it to the township earlier today. Real quickly, just to highlight, the contractor right now is in the process of acquiring the DEP permits he needs to discharge his construction dewater to the Coxall Creek area. So that basically will put construction, actually shovel in the ground, probably sometime in the beginning to mid-September. He anticipates starting with the pump station structure at the Clearwater site. And he looks like come November through February will actually be the pipe construction in Roseanne Avenue, proceeding from the pump station heading east. Upon completion of the piping, he has to wait 60 days for settlement of the trenches and that before he can pave. Right now, he's got paving scheduled for looks like sometime middle April into May. Beach Drive pedestrian project. Tonight, you approved the change order number 2, which was basically the change order to represent the actual as-built quantities. And you can see that the final contract price was a reduction in roughly $16,000. As the manager mentioned, we do have a maintenance bond, a 1-year maintenance bond on the project for the full amount, which started June 8th and will go through June 8th of next year. Roseanne Avenue, the Phase 3, the field survey has been completed. We intend to have a driller on site on Thursday to do 2 of the borings for the structural report and evaluation of the roadway up in that area of the project. And finally, the beach access improvements. We worked with the Township Tax Assessor to come up with a list of properties that will be impacted by this project. I believe on that list, in addition to the Cape May Beach property owners, individual locations, there are another 9 private properties that we need to secure permission from before we can enter on and do the survey for the project. That's where we are at this point. Any questions on any of those projects?
Mark, I just have a question concerning the dewatering process. As you, I'm sure, saw also, they're anticipating now being able to utilize Coxhall Creek, which takes the strain off the MUA with
That's correct. We didn't envision any interaction with dewatering at this point with the MUA. They're going to acquire the permits they need to treat all of the construction dewatering from both the pump station site and the storm line and pump it back into Coxhall Creek.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark.
That's great.
So Ridgway?
Yes, I have a few things. This morning, the staff management from Cape Assist came over to meet with a few of our department people, and what was exciting is the fact that they are going to be assisting with us and preparing a $1.2 million grant app to enhance. It's a revitalization project, which we're targeting Mulligan Field going forward. And as you know, we already have a multiple-year plan for that area. But this will involve people being able to improve their homes around the park, as well as better landscaping. Obviously, help us with our irrigation systems. And to date, no one in the county has received this particular grant from the state. It's gone to 3 or 4 other cities, and we feel the criteria can work. And I'm anxious to get this started. Last Wednesday night, all of you were in attendance, but to see the effect of Lower Township at the ferry terminal was overwhelming to many of us, because it was the largest turnout we've ever had. And I'm confident that over half of those people were our residents that came out for just a wonderful night. It was a beautiful weather night, and we anticipate the same this week, Wednesday, and for the rest of the Wednesdays of the summer. Bill Galestock from zoning today informed me that he and Joe Maffei had walked the Skellinger Landing project, and you'll have a conceptual design before the next council meeting of what the proposal will be for Skellinger Landing, which, again, as I mentioned in the past, we're looking to enhance that area, brand Skellinger Landing, Lobster House, the marina, etc., as an integral part of Lower Township. And that's it for me tonight.
Hey, Jim, the question on that, the grant you just talked about, is there a timeline for that? Or is that open-ended grant? Is there a timeline to submit that application, do you know?
August.
Uh,
The Skellender's Landing?
No, the
Oh,
other
the other
one,
one.
for the
All
grant.
I believe there is, but I also know they want to have one more meeting before they get rolling on this because they weren't aware that we have a lot of that data ready for them in that we plan to utilize a couple other funding sources for that project. And we already have one program in effect with large amount of money that we've lent in a grant to homeowners. And the assist wasn't aware of that. So what we have to do right now is synchronize the new stuff to go into this.
Thanks.
All right. With that, we move down to council comments.
Speaking of Cape Assist, right after they got done talking to the manager, I ended up talking to him. We've been trying to set up a town hall concerning the opioid issue in this area. A couple of municipalities have had town hall meetings. We've been trying to line that up. We are looking to have one here at Town Hall towards the end of September. We're locking down the date right now. We'll have a panel. I want people from the prosecutor and a couple other places so everybody could hear from different organizations, one, what people are doing, and two, what's out there for them and their families. We have to do something. We can't just, we've been to a bunch of meetings, but we need residents to come. A lot of the meetings I go to concerning this, it's groups and other organizations coming to the meetings. We need residents to come out and see what, they might have an idea that'll work. We have to start thinking way out of the box for this because a lot of stuff is not working. They're hitting hard on the prescription drugs right now. That helps, but that also somewhat drives people away. So see what resources are there. It's affecting a lot of people. Roads everywhere in the villas are being worked on. If you go out there, there's work on Falling Milk. There's work on Locust as they're putting the water lines in for Villas Phase 2, which will end that'll be all the villas in, will have city water at that point, which will help the homeowners with their homeowners insurance because there'll be hydrants everywhere, which is very important. The one thing I did find out also today is September 26th, we have to start marketing and think about this, will be the opening ceremony for the New Jersey Run for the Fallen. It'll be at the airport this year. More details will be coming. It will not be at Sunset Beach. They're changing a few things up. The concert was great last week. I'm waiting to see what this week is, and there's a few I'm definitely looking forward to. Sensational Soul Cruiser's always a good show. The Nerds I've heard about. I want to see what they could do.
Dave?
First of all, I'd like to thank numerous departments within the township that have done an outstanding job for our July 3rd celebration of fireworks on the beachfront. I was involved in it for quite a few years as the fire official. I know what goes into it. The people that were involved this year, as in past years, did an outstanding job. It goes everything from Parks and Recreation, Public Works, our police department, our volunteer fire companies, all three of them, with assistance from mutual aid that came in to protect other areas of the township while this celebration was going on. Our rescue squad, our residents for coming out and supporting the event. The beach drive was pretty well packed, and so were the beaches. Fireworks were outstanding again this year as usual. It's amazing how the employees of this township, when something's going on, get together and put on a heck of a show for everybody. They did an outstanding job. Another thing I'd like to do is thank Public Works again for the job that they did on Bay Drive. I've noticed over the years we've had vegetation and peating in the roadway, basically from Wildwood Avenue right on down to Coxall Creek. And they spent a couple days up there cutting back the vegetation, trimming the trees down, and really cleaning the area up so pedestrians and bicyclists alike can go up and down Bay Drive without impeding in the roadway. It made it a lot safer, I believe. So I'd like to thank them also. That's about it.
Nice. Councilman Roy?
Yes, I have really nothing further to add. Everything's pretty much been covered. Just enjoy the season, get out and enjoy a concert. By all means, be safe.
Councilman Roy,
Yes.
if I could, because this was late also, and it's public information because Mr. Galestock caught me when I was leaving, and the Army Corps of Engineers are up and running again on the Hereford Inlet project down through Diamond Beach, and business tomorrow and the next day with Bill will be contacting Mr. Thornton with Mott McDonald to get numbers of what we're looking at for the area of Diamond Beach for this dune, which will run the whole Wildwood Beach, although we have limited access and land there. We're still going to be a part of this, and Mr. Galestock now has drawings where you can see the walkways, etc. One other point with this, Diamond Beach will not be one of the areas that they borrow sand from. There will be no borrowing from Diamond Beach, which I feel will make those folks happy. Their beach, the amount of beach and sand that they have will be intact. And we thought this was something that wouldn't spring back up again until 2020 with what has been going on throughout the state, but this just came through today. So I wanted you to know about
Thank you
that.
for the information, Jim.
Okay, I have a couple of things, Mayor. Number one is that the youth camp, I've talked about before, we've all supported this, and this is the second year we're doing the camp. The police department took ownership and doing a great job. Last year, we had 25 kids for 3 days. Today, we're at 50 kids for 5 days. Hopefully, next year, we're going to do 2 camps for a total of 100 kids. But I'm just going to touch on a couple of things the police department put together with the help of donation from businesses and residents for Lower Township. The first day, a lot of prosecutor crime scene investigation going on. There's also parental training and communication with children. Cape Assist will come in and help the parents out with that. On day 2, we have a 4-hour fishing trip. We have a trip to the police academy for K-9 demonstrations, SWAT demonstrations. On day 3, we have a trip to Maurice Pier in the water park. Day 4, Coast Guard base. Day 5, the Cape May County Park, the zip line, the tree to tree course. And if you had to pay for that course, it's almost $50 a kid to go through there, and we have actually, we're paying for all the kids. And on that Friday of Friday, which is August 3rd, camp runs from July 30th to August 3rd, is a graduation at Pavilion at the county park, so anybody wants to come there. It's a great day to see the parents and guardians watch their child receive certificates. It's it's touching, and it's a good day. Again, the police department jumped in, took ownership, and doing a great job, and I appreciate that. The court advocate we have going in Lower Township, the courts, in the last 2 months, they've helped about 12 people out, some with some housing requirements and some with some counseling and some other issues, but they're doing a great job with the court advocate from Cape Assist. So I think Cape Assist and Lower Township, I think are moving in the right direction right now. A lot of things are doing with us. Last thing is we're able to join up with Wildwood in Middle Township, and there's what they call a Safe Surrender Day on September 28th. Right now, everything's in draft mode, but it's going to happen. Basically, if any resident in Lower Township has a warrant for a minor offense, they can turn themselves in at a church at Cape May Courthouse. We spoke to our judge already. He's going to come in that day. It's a Friday for a couple hours and see all the residents and get the warrants lifted. What that's going to do is it's going to keep people from looking over their shoulder, but more importantly, it's going to allow our police department to keep the officers on the street without processing paperwork for hours and hours over and over again. So that'd also be a good day. So other than that, that's all I have.
All right, that's good stuff. I have a few announcements. Just like to reiterate the fireworks. Our Independence Day celebration was spectacular, to say the least, and also Wednesday. Like, I will also say ditto to that on our concert, our first concert of the year, which, I mean, I don't know if you could have fit any more people in that ferry terminal on Wednesday. So kudos to everyone involved. And now for this announcement, the township would like to remind you that all dogs over the age of 6 months are required to be licensed by January 31st. We are now in the penalty phase, and animal control is issuing summons. The license may be obtained in the clerk's office. Also, please be mindful that you may not allow your animals on the beach between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. during the season. Failure to comply with these regulations shall subject the violator upon conviction to a fine of $100 plus court costs. And coincidentally, I had a citizen speak to me last night in my travels that they have gotten a $100 fine for not having their dog license. So they are giving out tickets, so please get your dogs or dog or, yes, licensed. You can see Julie. I know you'd be happy to help them out with that.
Absolutely.
Also, mercantile licenses are now expired, and a penalty fee will be applied on August 15th, so if you need to renew, please do so. National Night Out. I know Officer Barkus, the school resource officer for Lower Cape May Regional, works very hard on this National Night Out along with our police department, and that will be Tuesday, August 7th, at the ferry terminal from 5 to 7 p.m. And there's always some great activities, vendors, live music. And again, that's National Night Out is Tuesday, August 7th at the DRBA. And I believe it's the best location. I mean, all the towns do the National Night Out, but having it there, there's plenty of room, plenty of parking. So come on out for a great night. And last but not least, our summer concert series. All concerts begin at 5:30 at the ferry terminal. This week, this Wednesday, are the Soul Cruisers. July 25th are the Nerds. August 1st is Desert Highway. August 8th, Danny V's. August 15th, Separate Ways. August 22nd, Kevin Miller's Smashed. And August 29th, Stellar Mojo. And that will, the last concert there, Stellar Mojo, will benefit our youth in the area, the youth that are unable to afford some of the costs that go along with recreational activities. And we thank the local Optimist Club, Gary Douglas and the Optimists, for helping us out with that as well. So with that, we close council comments and open it to the public. If you have any comments, questions, we just ask that you state your name and address for the record. So we now open it to the public. Anyone interested in stepping up to the mic? Yes, sir.
Know your face, right? Ray Flickinger, Washington Boulevard. Again, I say the concert on the 3rd of July and all was great, and so many people are always amazed at what the township workers do in the cleanup of it. We have all the rides basically there, and it's all going by early morning and clean up all the trash and all, so hopefully they can keep that up. Also, Jim, you had mentioned when the repairs and all that were damaged by the cement truck, the woman that had the work done there, she was very pleased with it. Gary Douglas was out there. How they matched the siding so perfect, I don't know, but they did a great job and a great cleanup on that. The only concern we have over there still is that wire that was instrumental in tearing the siding off is still hanging there. I don't know why. This past weekend, there were some kids up there even playing with the wire. It's a coil wire. It's sitting there, and it's just hanging down there. That was a dead telephone line anyway. She had canceled it years ago. So it's still hanging right there in the middle of the hill there. So I don't know what the holdup is on that, getting that cleaned up.
I'll check it out.
Thank you.
Jim, you have wire cutters? You take Just kidding. Just kidding. Anybody else? All right, seeing none, we close the public portion. And
Motion to adjourn.
thank you. I'll
Second
second.
motion.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
It's unanimous.